Hey everyone, happy Friday.
Hi.
Happy July 25th.
Hello. Hello.
We are back. It's been a busy week. It's always a busy week, and we are back to do I'm going to work on some animation today with you guys. On a new little project that we've got going on, and that I'm very excited about. And so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we've got a lot of things happening over at creatureartteacher.com. One of the things we've been wanting to do, we've had a lot of requests for it, and as you've seen, we've been advertising it a lot. We're doing a lot more live events, and so we've got our animation boot camp, 2 of them that we just sold out that we're going to be doing next month. And oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me.
No.
And then we've got some other ones that we're going to be doing coming up that we're going to talk to you guys about. And I've got Dustin over one side. I've got Nick over on the other side over here.
Hi. Hello.
And before I go on any further, I'm going to let Nick take over and tell you a little bit about what's going on in some of our sales.
Yeah, we've got a special announcement we're going to be sharing a little bit later in the stream, so stay tuned for that. But first of all, I want to let you know that this is your last weekend to get in on our $10 course sale. You can get any single course on the website for just $10. Use promo code 10-SAVE.
And please share that, spread the word, because this is going to be going away. And, we'd love to get more people over and to take advantage of this.
Yeah, I mean, that's animal drawing courses, storyboarding courses, animation courses, digital painting, traditional painting, charcoal drawing, you name it. You can get it for just $10 using promo code 10-SAVE. Go on over to creatureartteacher.com and pick up a course today. And why don't we throw it back over to you, Aaron, and then we'll go from there.
And Snow Bear, where is Snow Bear playing today? We're at Giffoni, right?
It's going to be in 2 places. Today, it's playing in Italy at the Giffoni Film Festival.
Yeah, so, hey, if you're at Giffoni Film Festival in Italy, check us out.
Yes, and in a couple of days, it's going to be playing at the Guadalajara Film Festival.
Mexico, beautiful sunny Mexico.
Yes. If you want to...
Coming up, we're going to be in the Holly Shorts Film Festival in Los Angeles.
That's next month. Yep. Yes, we can. Yep.
Yeah. So it's getting all over the place for those of you that are wondering. And if you want to see more.
Oh, and it's also playing this week in Indianapolis at the Indie Shorts Film Festival.
Right here in the United States. Yeah. So, and if you want to see more about Snow Bear, catch up on what we're doing, or just get information on the film itself, go on over to snowbearshort.com. And you can get all kinds of information over there.
And I misspoke. I said Guadalajara. We were already at the Guadalajara Film Festival. It's the Guanajuato Film Festival.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Gotcha. So I am doing a new project. I kind of revealed it to our site members, our Creature Art Teacher members, but I wanted to put it out public today because I wanted to keep working on it today, basically. And so I wanted to share with you guys what I'm working on. And if you want to continue seeing me work on these projects, then come on over to Creature Art Teacher and become a member, and you'll get the inside scoop. But I'm wanting to create a series that puts a little beauty back into the world, something that we always talk about. And I think we could all use a little empathy worldwide. And so I'm creating a project called the Empathy Project. And they are little 30-second snippets, short little pieces of animation that demonstrate empathy, and we're hoping we can get a little momentum behind that. Maybe some of you viewers out there might see some of these, maybe get inspired to create some of your own. We don't know where this is going to go, but we need to start by creating the little snippets themselves. And so this is one that I'm working on. I started today, and I wanted to show it to you. I've got it boarded, and should I show the version with music, or should I just show it on here, do you think?
Is it royalty-free music? Is it music that we purchased?
Yes, it's music.
Yeah, then you should be fine.
Yeah. So let me jump over real quick. Once again, it's called the Empathy Project, and it's all about they're little 30-second little pieces of animation that demonstrate just the smallest little gestures of empathy and how we can look out for one another and put ourselves in the shoes of our fellow man. and help out and do good things and all that good stuff. So this is a little piece that I'm working on right now, and here it is. So that's just one of many that we're going to have. And I've been working today on getting the animation working, our character walking across the screen. And so, and these are meant to be done very quickly. And so that's what I'm working on now, is just to, somewhat limited animation. I want to be able to do these, Snow Bear every 30 seconds took me about a month to do. And I don't want to take a month to do these. I want to do these in just a few days. So I'm finding ways to cut corners and do little shortcuts, but still to get across a nice message and put a little bit of good out there. And so that's what we're doing here at Creature Art Teacher. So I'm going to jump in here and start drawing. And what I've done, I've created this little cycle. You can see him walking right here. And it's the upper part of the body is just pretty much the same drawing that I'm moving up and down, and I'm animating the legs. Once again, the idea is to keep this simple and find ways to cut corners to do this quickly. So what I do is I copy that body and I paste it right there on the in-between right there. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn my onion skin back on. And I'm going to get my drawing set up. Number 2 pencil.
Número dos.
Número dos.
Bob says, that's like an animated Hallmark card. You can't fool me. That's so sweet.
Good. That's a great description. I like that description. Thank you. We're hoping it inspires.
Twitch comment, hopefully that guy's wallet wasn't in his jacket when he left it.
If it were me, yes, it probably would have been in there and I probably would have forgotten it, or at least my credit card, because I'm notorious for leaving my credit card at
And your phone.
in my phone at restaurants.
And your glasses.
And my glasses.
Just
Nick and
everything will be in your
Dustin and my wife will all attest to me being completely absent-minded in that.
Lothar
All right,
says,
saving.
Lothar says, good day from rainy Germany.
Rainy Germany.
Finally been getting rain at my house. It's been like we had a really dry start to the summer, but it's finally started kicking in. I'm getting some good downpours. How about over here, Aaron?
Oh yeah, we've been getting plenty of rain.
So there's been some times where like a big storm is about to hit, but then the last second it just goes away.
Yeah, that's what we kept having.
Yeah, it's funny. Nick and I live 8 miles apart. That's all we live is 8 miles apart, and yet we get very different weather sometimes.
Yeah, there'll be days when it's just downpouring at one of our houses and completely dry at the other, and vice versa. Of course, Florida's notorious for that in general.
That's Florida weather for you too.
I mean, I've so many times in my life seen it literally raining on one side of the street and not raining on the other.
Yeah.
Some nutty squirrel on YouTube is
Some nutty squirrel.
Some nutty squirrel
Holy squirrels.
is asking, is Mr. Blaze taking questions here?
I am taking questions, my dear. You nutty squirrel.
Question away.
Ask away.
Some nutty squirrel right there.
So just to reiterate for people that were asking in the comments about the Snow Bear plane, it's going to be at the Giffoni Film Festival today and tomorrow. That's in Giffoni Valle, Piana, Italy. Tim Burton's at that festival, by the way. Whole bunch of people are there.
Who's that?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I think they're doing a premiere of the new season of Wednesday
Oh, nice.
there. So it's going to be, it actually looks like a really cool event. We were really hoping to make it to that one, but it didn't work out. So, and then on the 27th, it's going to be playing in Indianapolis, Indiana, as part of the Indie Shorts Film Festival. And then July 31st, it's going to be at Guanajuato as part of GIF. And it'll also be playing there again on August 4th. So those are the next upcoming ones that we're allowed to announce. And I should have a whole bunch more on the website soon.
That is awesome.
That's just Star
We
Spangled
got to move the body up. Got to move his body up. There we go. My grandson just texted me.
He did.
He did.
Who did?
We actually had. I got to see him. Really
Hey, he
recently.
got his haircut. He texted me to let me know he got his haircut.
This past weekend. You've actually had a really busy week.
Yeah, that was a cool weekend.
On Sunday, this past Sunday, Sunday's the first day of the week. We kicked off the week by screening back-to-back Snow Bear and Brother Bear.
Yeah, I don't know how many directors have had that honor and opportunity in a while.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Got to screen it in front of a packed house, and then Aaron did an animation demonstration right after. We had a full audience, people asking questions. It was super cool.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
And then on Thursday, you got to have a really cool interview experience,
I
right?
did yesterday. The Animation Research Library at Disney, otherwise known as the ARL, also known as the morgue, because it's where all of the artwork goes when it's done being used in a film. So you go to the morgue or the ARL at Disney, and that library goes all the way back to Pinocchio, Sleeping Beauty, even before that, artwork that goes way back to the beginning of feature animation. And so one of the things they do, along with keeping the artwork, is they keep an archive of history and all kinds of things. And so since 2010, they've been keeping kind of an oral history of different people and their careers, and just, people sharing stories of their careers. And they've done about 120 people, and they recently approached me to see if they could interview me for the same thing. And so that's what I did yesterday. And they're pretty robust interviews. It was like 2.5 hours, and talking about everything from literally from my childhood to present day. And it was awesome. We had so much fun. And Dustin was here. He helped set it all up. And it was very, very cool.
Very productive.
Yes. So we did that yesterday. And I'm also working on, I've got about, I don't know how many projects we've got going on right now. So many irons in the fire, but they're all very exciting.
Too many.
Yeah. And like I said, our animation boot camp that we're going to be doing here in August, those have sold out. We have 2 of them back to back, 2 weekends in a row. The first one sold out literally in hours. And so we decided to go ahead and add another one, and that one just recently sold out as well. So we've got these 2 boot camps that we are doing, and we want to do more. And as a matter of fact, we've got an announcement coming up.
Why is the animation art? Oh, sorry, Aaron. I was
all right.
reading a question. I did not mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna. Someone asked, speaking of the ARL, why is it called the morgue?
Because it's where everything is brought when it's done. Basically, it's not where the art goes to die, but it's basically where it's. That's just the term that we gave it way back in the
Also,
day.
a lot of it's kept in drawers, and it's really cold in there.
Yeah,
Right?
it's all temperature controlled and it's all kept in drawers, just like a morgue. Yeah, exactly. And so, but you know, I used to go in there. You got to go in and you got to take, you know, put gloves on, and you got to walk through a this big fan that blows all the dust off of you, and it's like working at NASA when you go in there. And I used to go in there so I could look at the backgrounds from Bambi. It was cool. And I'd pull out backgrounds from Bambi. I'd pull out backgrounds and animation, original animation. These are all the originals. You know, Pinocchio, all of that stuff. It was incredible.
Uh, Alder Owl says, "Hello.
Hello.
I am currently studying from your acting for animation course, and I am loving it.
Oh, that's awesome. That makes me happy.
I am having a little trouble though with cleanup. My lines tend to wobble a lot. So how do you approach cleanup? Thank you."
You know, cleanup. You want to use onion skin if you're working digitally. If you're working traditionally, a lot of times people will use their backlight. I tend to not use a backlight even with cleanup, but I don't mind a little bit of a wobbly line. But if your lines are like chronically wobbly, you might need to turn your light on or your onion skin so you can make sure you're getting, you know, you're keeping things basically in the arcs and in line with everything else, because that's where you start getting really kind of wonky lines. You want to make sure that you're following a path of action.
I was just posting a link to that animation course for everybody, the acting for animation course we're talking about. And I want to remind you, you can get that course and all of our other courses for just $10 each this weekend if you use this is your last weekend. My days are all off. I'm like, this weekend, today's only the middle of the week. No, it's Friday.
This week went by fast.
Yeah, use promo code 10-SAVE. Get any course on the website for $10. Oh, and Double ZR Tap says, I finally got to see Snow Bear this past weekend at the Enzion. Very
Oh, you
cool.
were there. That's awesome.
Nice.
That's on that's a comment came in on Twitch. Bob says, I agree. A little boiling line adds some character.
Yeah, I mean, it's we work in a handmade medium, and so embrace it. The other thing I want to mention is I've started a new course. It's been a while since I've gotten a new course out because I've been so involved with other projects, and it's time for me to get some more courses out. And so, you know, I started thinking about a lot of the stuff that's available as opposed to what you don't see a lot of in regards to animation. And there are so many courses out there and teaching on acting for animation and getting the right performance and all that sort of thing. And that's absolutely imperative. It is the most important thing when it comes to creating character animation, especially because you want your characters to live and breathe and emote. But in my career, through figuring out the acting, you go through a lot of, your characters do actions. Your character has to, if you have a human character, they got to take off a coat, they got to take off a shirt, they have to go from a standing position to a running position, or to a run. They have to, how do you do a sneeze? How do you do, like, all these different little actions, throwing a ball, putting on a pair of pants. These are all things that no one ever teaches you. You just have to kind of figure out. And I thought, it'd be kind of fun to come up with 20 common actions that you'll encounter as a character animator and demonstrate animating those. And so that's what I've started this week. And it's been a blast. And I'm going to be doing two versions. I'm doing a human version, and then I'll be doing animal versions as well. So this is 20 human actions that you're going to encounter as an animator, as a character animator, and I'm breaking them down. And what I've started with going from a standing position to a walk, and then going from a standing position to a run. So we just completed those this week. And I got to say, they're coming up pretty good. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And the other thing that I'm doing with it, because people get so hung up, you know, a lot of especially my animation courses, with the exception of, say, my Dreams course, because it's about the software. My animation courses are not software specific. It's all about fundamentals of, you know, it's the information about animation itself and not the software that you might be using. And I get so many people that get hung up on the software when I'm teaching just fundamentals. You know, they want to know what software I'm using when it doesn't really matter. And so as a result of that, I decided I'm going to teach this course. I'm going to do everything on paper. So it's not software specific at all. You can follow along on any software you want or on paper. What we're going to be providing in this course is not just the videos of me doing these, but you'll get JPEGs of every single drawing that I'm creating. And I'm creating hundreds of drawings for this. So you're going to get every single drawing. I'm also importing these into TV Paint. So you're going to get the TV Paint files if you're a TV Paint artist, but even if you're not, you're going to get the actual movie files for those as well. So just because I'm doing it on paper doesn't mean you won't be able to use it for whatever digital software you might be using. So it's going to be really thorough, to say the least. Pretty cool.
Oh, sweet. Aaron, will
Yeah.
this new course be added as an assignment to the animated certificate?
No, it won't be added to that. It's not a requirement for the certificate. But we do have more plans for more certificates in the future.
Yes, we do.
Arturo asks, paper, where do I download that software?
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Download that off of LimeWire.
Napster.
Whatever happened to that guy?
He's a multimillionaire and doing just fine.
Doing all right. I guess.
He was just a kid, wasn't he?
Yeah. Foxy Pete says, sign me up for the action animating course. Can't wait for it.
Oh, nice.
Aaron, do you have a course on advanced color theory?
Not advanced, but I mean, the information that's in there is, you know, I think it's pretty thorough.
And Mike Manning says, my Art of Aaron Blaze Volume 2 book is out for delivery. Very excited to sit and enjoy it this evening.
Oh, nice.
If you want to get Aaron's art book, you can go to creatureartteacher.com/books and pick up a copy. We are over 80% sold out on that. So get it before it's out of print. Volume 1 is out of print. So if you want to get Volume 2, we'll reprint one day, but there's no immediate plans. So I would suggest you pick it up while you can.
Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up.
Pick it up.
All right, this is a little bit of a long question, but I think it's worth
Asking?
asking. Yes, it's some
See how
nutty
psychic
squirrel.
I am? I knew what you were going to say.
Some nutty squirrel
Hey,
follows
some nutty
ask
squirrel.
a question. In Richard Williams' book, he says his preferred approach to animation is a combination of straight aheads and pose to pose, making keys, extremes, and breakdowns, and then animating the in betweens straight ahead. By the time you reach the key drawing, you may have to erase it. Williams says Milt Call worked this way in the combination method, and I personally read about this method in The Illusion of Life, which also said Disney artists hardly used their final keys. I'm currently trying this myself, but I'm confused about charting my animation when I'm sort of freestyling the in-betweens and straight ahead. I hope that was clear. Thank you.
Well, first of all, chart your stuff at the end. And yes, it's very clear because I do the same thing. Once you get into animation, you're going to realize that not many people purely do pose to pose or purely do straight ahead. It's a lot of combinations. And so a lot of times by the time you get to a a key pose that you're working towards with your in-betweens, you'll realize that you've worked your way out of that key and you have to, at the very least, adjust the key. And so that's why I keep all my timing in my head as I'm going. And then if you have people, you don't have to chart anything if you're just working for yourself, because I memorize everything. I just know the timing of what everything's going to be. If you can't do that, then yeah, you got to chart it for yourself. But or if you have follow-up people, and I don't chart anything. If I have people following me up, I don't chart anything until I'm done. And even if the keys are kind of free-formed and they don't quite follow, you can put a chart in there, and it's basically going to be where you can chart it. Even if something's off a little bit. And if it's kind of drastically off, then you just make a note and you say, follow the rough. It's as simple as that. I used to do that all the time. Hey, for the hands and feet, follow the rough. For the rest, here's the chart. You can do anything you want.
Sounds like that would drive people crazy.
It's actually it's pretty common.
Yeah.
So as a cleanup artist, everyone was really used to that. And if you are I was a pretty clean animator. I wasn't a super rough animator.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would say follow the rough, it wasn't a problem. Just for that reason.
Oakland Cat 96 sent a super chat and says, "Hi, I am Louis Ma. Luis. I studied aeronautical engineering but dropped out to become an animator.
Wow.
Thanks to Master Blaze, I have improved and learned a lot about animation and character design. Thank you."
Wow, thank you for saying so. I hope we are helping. And I hope you enjoy your new career path.
Is Snow Bear going to be on a streaming service? We will have more announcements about when you can watch Snow Bear soon. It will be available online before the end of the year. We can definitely say that. If you want to learn more, I would suggest checking out snowbearshort.com or following Snow Bear on Instagram, which is instagram.com/snowbearfilm. And I'll post a link to that. That's going to be your best way to find out when it's available for streaming. Stay tuned.
It's going to be cool. And I really, when it comes time to put it out, please, we're really going to push for folks to share it, because this is going to be a big way for us to continue with our next projects. This is how we're going to fund our next projects. Saving, saving, saving.
We just got a really nice comment online that I want to share. It's a long one, but I want to share it. It's came in through Instagram. I write this in order to show my appreciation for your excellent labor in painting and my best thanks to you because your work motivated me to paint in watercolor. Years ago, I was so scared to get into this complicated medium, and because of your cougar tutorial, I followed step by step. I learned so much with this technique, and I learned to dare and to take challenges as part of my approach to art, and it's all thanks to you.
Now
Now
it's thanks to you actually doing it.
now I am a member of the Watercolor Society, and I
That's awesome.
yeah, and I do not forget your help in this tutorial. It's meant many things and led to many things in my life. And maybe you just did this tutorial and you never thought it could help a person in any place, but I just wanted to know that it really changed my life in painting. I've had the opportunity now to have my first solo exhibit in watercolor.
Wow.
And I chose a cat series, and I'll include the cougar that I learned from your demonstration as part of it.
That is awesome.
I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Thank you for saying so. This is why we do it. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but it really is. I love hearing that. That gives me just so much satisfaction.
Yeah, and we have so many people now that have taken courses on our website that now have got, we've been at this for 13 years. We've got people now that, started when they were in high school and now they're professional artists. And we've had tons of people say, oh, I got a job at DreamWorks or I got a job at Disney because I took your courses. And man, that's so gratifying.
It really is.
When we hear that. By the way, speaking of watercolor classes, it's still July, so there's a few more days left in the month. July is watercolor month at Creature Art Teacher. All of our watercolor classes are already marked down to $10, but the more you buy, the more you save. So you can get one course for $10 or two courses for $15. So go to creatureartteacher.com and pick up a watercolor course. And then, of course, don't forget, use that promo code 10SAVE, and you can get all of our other courses for just $10 each.
The other thing, too, I want to mention is just I'm asking, requesting from you guys to please, as much as you can, spread the word, share our site. The way we make a living at this is to, we sell these courses and we teach these things and yeah, they're inexpensive. And so we want to keep these prices down. And so the way we do that is to really reach a lot of people. And the best thing for us is to constantly, find new eyes, get new eyes to our site. And so the more you guys can help us out, the more we can create, more content we can create, and we just keep it going.
Absolutely. It makes all the difference.
Yeah, it really does. The average, just to be completely straight up, advertising doesn't work the same way it used to when we started out. Over the years, the rules have changed and laws have changed, and it's harder to basically just target the right audience. And so one of the best things we can do is to get word of mouth. So the more we, people talk about us, the better off we are.
Help us spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word. Spread the word, Merd.
Lunamera says, following up on that, I watch your watercolor tutorials and classes over and over. I always improve each time. Please do more watercolor streams. You're such a wealth of knowledge.
I have not touched my watercolors in months. And so that is a wonderful excuse to touch them again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have had the pleasure and the wonderful experience of having a very diverse artistic history. And as a result of that, I'm jumping all over the place from medium to medium. And so lately it's been animation. And
The tricky thing with animation is it's so labor
it's
intensive,
incredibly time consuming. Yeah.
which is
So,
part of the joy of it. But
yeah.
once you get
But
on an animated project, you gotta
as
see
many
it
of you
through.
know, I love painting and traditional work as much as I do animation and digital work. And um, there's only so many hours in the day and so many days in the week. I wish I didn't have to sleep.
Or eat.
Yeah.
You could just be an art robot. I am the art terminator. Animal Fort Studio asks, are there some things that are important to learn from classic cell painting that are not available in digital painting?
Um, Classic cell painting. The concept of it is basically the same from digital to, cell painting is just, for those of you that don't know, the way animation was done at one time, in the old days, animation was drawn on paper and then cleaned up. And then each of those drawings were sent to the ink and paint department, where a piece of clear acetate was put over that drawing, and an inker, that's why it was called the ink and paint department, an inker would come in and trace all those lines on the front of the acetate. They'd see through the acetate, it's clear, and they would trace those lines on there. And then a painter would come along, they would flip over the acetate and then paint on the back. The line would be on the front, the paint would be on the back, and then you flip it back over. You've got the holding line and you've got a beautifully painted cell right there. And that clear acetate would then sit over a background. And that's, and after cell after cell after cell, that's how you get your moving animation. And in the 60s, they invented the Xerox process. So they were able to save time by taking those cleaned up drawings and Xeroxing them directly onto a piece of clear acetate still. And so now you took away the time that it took to do the inking. So now everything was Xeroxed on quickly. And then they painted, still did the painting traditionally with vinyl paint on the back of the cell. And then later on, during the Little Mermaid era, digital cell painting came along. And so the drawings now were scanned and digitally brought into the computer. So now there's no acetate whatsoever. The background is scanned, and then they were digitally painted by touch and fill. And that's how we still do it today. And well, now we draw digitally. And so it's funny, every few years or so, we have advances in technology that make an old job obsolete. And we're going through that now, right? With AI and everything else. We did that. That happened with CG animation. And it's been going on for years and years and years. And but as far as the idea of scanning a line or drawing a line and then filling it with color, that's the same whether you're doing it digitally or you're doing it on a cell. It's the same idea. Even this in TV paint right here, when I color these in, I'm coloring basically underneath the holding line, which is the same idea as cell painting. We might even do a little bit of that on this stream.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of people that have asked for that. We should take a stab at that on a future stream, methinks.
Cell painting, you mean?
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun.
Would be. You're all about it. Nick likes to talk about the cell painting a lot.
Well, I mean, first of all, I know there's a huge collector's market for it.
There is.
It's gigantic. So Maisie on YouTube says, "Hi, I'm a young Mexican animator. I love animals, and your art inspires me every day. Thank you for sharing your magic with us. Greetings from Mexico." And they sent us a super chat donation.
Cool. Where in Mexico are you?
Yeah, let us know, Maisie.
And muchas gracias.
My brother, Travis, he lives in Mexico City and teaches at the college, one of the colleges there. And Nick and I have been to Mexico City a couple of times, and I've taught there.
And Aaron, if you're ready, I think we're ready to make that announcement.
We are.
All right, I'm gonna let you describe the detail. We'll put the slide up in just a second first, but then I'll let you talk about the event. So I want to let you know that if you head on over to creatureartteacher.com/live, you can now sign up for Aaron's next 2D animation boot camp. Our first two sold out. Those were on the basics and the fundamentals. This one is something a little different.
It's called The Living Line.
Got the slide for that, Dustin?
Yep.
You go to creatureartteacher.com/bootcamp. We also have another live event coming up in Colorado in September. So those are both up there. You can learn all about them. But I'll let Aaron explain.
So
what
the
this
one that you're
workshop-
seeing there on the left, it's called The Living Line, and I'm going to be teaching. It's more advanced. It's not a beginner boot camp. We had so many requests, when we put out the signups for our beginner animation boot camp that we just sold out. There's a lot of people that weren't beginners that were requesting, hey, if you do something that's a bit more advanced, more intermediate, I'd be interested. And so we heard you and we decided that's what we're going to do. So we're doing another 4-day boot camp.
Be in Orlando,
It's
Florida.
going to be right here in Orlando, and the hotel is all part of the fee. So it's hotel included, breakfast and lunch is included. At the end of the 4 days, we're going to have a big banquet, and we're going to show all the animation that we've done. But the content of this is more advanced animation techniques, and we're going to be talking more about acting and how you get emotion and getting characters to come alive. I'm not going to be focusing very much on the fundamentals of animation, which is what I'm going to be doing in the boot camp before this. And the ones that are coming up now, I'm going to be talking about bouncing balls and flour sacks and walk cycles and things like that. In this boot camp, the new one, it's really about focusing on how to make your characters become beyond just a drawing on the page. How do we do expressive posing? How do we do expressive acting and movement? I'm even going to get you guys to break out of your shell.
You can go back to him, Dustin.
And one of the things that we used to do at Disney, and I want to do a little bit of it, just a tiny bit. I hope I don't freak you guys out, but we're going to do a little bit of improv as well. We're going to be focusing on acting. And so, that's what animators are. And it's a big cliche. We used to say it all the time, but animators are actors with pencils. And so we're going to really focus on that. We're going to focus on how do we get really great, strong acting in our animation. So if you go on over to creatureartteacher.com/live, those are the boot camps that you're going to be able to sign up for. You're going to be able to sign up for that one. And then also the one for New Masters Academy, where I'm going to be teaching animal drawing. That one's very exciting as well, in Colorado. So once again, this in the next year and years coming up, you're going to see us promoting a lot more live events. We've got some big plans for the future. Right now, we're doing a lot of these at hotels and places all over the country. And if you're in Europe, don't worry, we're going to be doing some in Europe as well. We just don't have them on the books yet. So, but for this one coming up in November, it's all about the acting. So go on over there and check it out.
Yeah, go to creatureartteacher.com/live. Once again, this is a limited spot event. There's only 30 spots available. Our previous workshops have sometimes sold out in under 48 hours. So if you are interested, act fast. By the way, I want to point out, if you're an annual member, you save $150 off the ticket, which is the price of a membership right now. So the membership literally pays for itself.
Yeah.
So we really do try to make it the best value in art education. These events are so much fun. It's hands-on learning with Aaron. He's going to be walking around. He's going to be giving you direct feedback. He's going to be, you know,
everybody gets direct feedback. And for those of you that are wondering, these are exclusive for the people that are there. These are not going to be courses that we record and then release to the public. I'll be doing other courses that cover some of the same material, but we try to make these special. We want the people that come to these and sign up for them. We want it to be exclusive.
The awesome Cat Mom says, any plans to do these on the East Coast? This is on the East Coast. We're in Florida. So this is in Orlando, Florida. So
Florida.
now if you mean the Northeast, no immediate plans. One of the benefits to Orlando is there's a major airport right here, and this happens to be one of the places where there's an abundance of hotel rooms.
The other thing too, the hotel that we are using, the DoubleTree Hotel, is literally across the street from Universal Studios. So in the evening when we're done, if you want to go to Universal, and it's only about 20 minutes down the road, 15 minutes down the road from Disney, SeaWorld is right across the freeway. It's all in the same area. So, you know, when we're done, or if you want to extend your trip, you have the ability to do that as well. But I'm going to work you guys, so.
These exclusive in-person courses include certificates at the end? Yes.
Yes, they do.
Do some animators record themselves acting the scene that the characters are doing?
Yeah, we used to do it all the time. Yep.
Caso's Cartoon says, hey, Aaron, I've purchased about a dozen of your 2D animation courses, and I'm working on getting your certificate in this. One thing you have often taught me is that you should not copy drawings from one frame to another, but you should draw all the lines in each frame to keep the animation alive. But tonight it looks like you're copying your character's upper body from frame to frame.
I'm doing that on purpose to save time.
That's what I was finishing the question.
Yep, sorry.
Yep. Is that to save time?
Yes, I'm doing that to save time. I still stand by that. If you want much more full animation, that's the way I did Snow Bear. But all of these vignettes are meant to be done very quickly. If you look at TV animation, that's, you know, you have held cells, you have held heads with talking mouths and things like that. And that becomes more limited looking animation. I'll be able to get away with this a little bit better than it'll feel less limited, because even though he's just walking in place for this, I'm going to be repeating these drawings, and he's actually going to be walking across the screen. So you won't be noticing so much that it's a reused upper body. But yes, that's a good call. And I still stand, like I said, I still stand by that. Because if I were to do this where it was much fuller animation, I would have a little bit of overlap to his head, his shoulders would react, you know, everything would react. But because I'm trying to get through this quickly, and I've got about 20 or 30 of these vignettes that I want to do over the next several months, I've got to find ways to cut corners. And you'll find that, you know, a lot of studios that are on limited budgets, this is what they go through. This is what they do. We got to find ways to cut corners. How do we save money, save time without sacrificing artistry as much as possible? And that's what we do.
And it's a balance, right? You're always balancing that artistry versus time and budget. Right?
Exactly. So now I basically got the walk way I want it. I want everything on twos in this walk. So I've got this cycle, and what I'm going to do is move him across. Before I do that, I want to color it. So let me highlight this. And if I play this, it works pretty good. Even though he's, you know, that upper drawing, the upper part of his body is the same drawing, just used over and over. as he walks across the frame, it's gonna work pretty well. And so I'm happy with that. This is a good basis. So what I want to do with this now is I want to color it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine those, the color and the line, and I'll be able to repeat those across the frame. So next thing I want to do is I want to turn this on, and I want to grab those colors. These are the colors I want to use. So the first color that I want, well, first of all, I want to come to here, and I'm going to add a new layer. And for TV Paint, it's a color and texture layer. And so what it's going to do, it's going to create this layer underneath that I can color. I can color these drawings. And I'll show you what I mean. So the first thing that I want to do is grab that jacket color. Boom, right there. I'm going to turn this off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to draw everywhere I want color on the jacket. And boom, look at that, it fills it in. I'm going to go, I also want to change the blend mode on my line. And I'm going to change that to multiply. So I'll get a little bit of a darker line. I also want to turn off that tracing line on the color layer. There, so now we got a nice clean line right there. I want to fill that right there. And then I can come up here and do exclusion, and I want to take all of that out of there. There we go. So now I've got a jacket that I like. So I'm going to go through and just do the jackets. Whoops, I had my exclusion line. Turned on. Just fill in around some of these. There we go. And then we're going to go to the next color when we're done with this. Sometimes it'll get confused and it'll fill in areas that you don't want to be filled in. By and large, if you do a fairly clean line, it gives you a nice fill. This is how I did all the color in Snow Bear. Character color, that is. I digitally painted the backgrounds.
Ashley says, I just signed up to become a member. Go me. Well, thank you, Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley.
We really think you are going to love the membership.
And once again, please spread the word.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things, you know, I want to kind of pat ourselves on the back a little bit here. You know, if you ever have any questions, you can email support@creatureartteacher.com. We have a full-time support staff. Myself, Claudia, Steve, we all answer tickets. We respond. Happy to answer any questions. We have our members-only Discord server, which you get access to, where you can share your artwork with other students and learners. And our teachers are going to be dropping by more and more on there. We've got a whole bunch of exciting plans coming up. And our courses are deep. You know, I've been looking at other websites.
Yeah.
Some of their courses are like an hour and a half long.
I know.
Or 2 hours long.
Not here.
That's not a course. That's a lesson.
Yeah, that's a lesson.
We have lessons in our courses that long, but we have courses that go, our average course is over 10 hours long.
Yeah.
We've got courses that
They're
are
truly courses.
10, 20, 30, 40 hours long, 50 hours long. And if you become a member, the cool thing about our membership is everything is yours to keep. You don't lose access, you know, if you cancel your membership. So we really tried to make the website that we wanted to be a customer of, and that's how we've built it.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, go on over to creatureartteacher.com. So Creative asks, what software is this? I'm assuming this is better than After Effects.
Oh yes, this is made specifically for character animation. This hand-drawn character animation. This is TV Paint. Forgot the color in the hood. Keeps coloring in the face. That's okay. I'll just keep undoing it.
Ashley says, I even picked up an Artie from Lilo Roche to treat myself. Oh, that is awesome. Do you prefer to use the onion skin on or off when animating digitally?
I
Usually have it on.
If I'm animating straight ahead, I don't have it on. If I'm doing pose to pose, I'll have it on, and when I'm in between, I'll have it on. Yeah.
And then, but the one thing you do is you go in and you really only keep like one frame ahead and one frame back.
Yeah, exactly. The way I would do it on paper.
Right.
It's just what I'm more comfortable with.
Yeah, you don't want to get like lost in the spaghetti of an onion skin.
Yeah. Don't become dependent on your onion skin. I really push that. Another reason why I'm working on paper is I want people to, the way I was taught was to flip the paper and see the motion of the volumes and the characters. Think of it three-dimensionally. Don't think of it as a bunch of lines that you're trying to put lines between. You want to think of, animation is about, it's even though it's flat artwork, you're working spatially. You're working within a virtual three-dimensional space, even with hand-drawn animation. And so you want to think three-dimensionally. There we go. So now I've got something. So now we've got the coat all colored in. So now let's do let's see. Let's go ahead and do the fur around the coat. And I'm not going to worry about, I'll as we go, we'll get more detailed on if the face gets colored in, I'll fix that.
Oh, we've already had our first 2 spots go to our animation boot camp.
Oh, no kidding. That's great. Thank you, guys.
So that means there are now just 28 spots left. So seriously, these do go fast. If you're thinking about it, jump on.
They're a lot of fun. We've done these when I taught watercolor in England. We rented a castle and we had 30 people there, and we had 5 days where we taught watercolor, and we all stayed in a castle. It was great. And we also did a watercolor boot camp right here at the same hotel a few years ago with a wonderful class. And what's really nice about these too is that we all become friends. Everyone kind of, it goes beyond just the 4 days. Everyone kind of stays in touch with one another. And we get like a little family going. We've done them in Sarasota, Florida. Done them, smaller versions of these in Europe, outside, not just the castle. So they're really, really great. I love doing them.
Actually, if you watched last week's live stream, we were joined by special guests Benji and Zaunji, who we met at workshops.
Yes, that's right.
Again, I want to let people know, aside from that announcement about our intermediate animation boot camp, we also are still having our $10 animation sale. Go to creatureartteacher.com, enter promo code 10-SAVE. You can get any single course for just 10 bucks. So that's courses on drawing, painting, animation, storyboarding, script writing. We've got an awesome course on that from Bradley Raymond, who was with Pixar for years. We've got courses from Chuck Williams, who's a producer, on how to pitch a project. We've got courses on all kinds of stuff. Go to creatureartteacher.com.
Yeah, I want to mention something really quick too. You mentioned Brad Raymond being from Pixar. I've had I have the pleasure and the advantage of having worked in this industry with major studios for 37 years actually. And during that time, I've met a lot of amazing professionals. One of the things that bothered me when I went to art school is that a lot of my professors were people that had not worked in the industry. In my case, it was illustration, had not worked in the industry for years and years, and were basically kind of out of touch. And I made sure that when we started this business, Creature Art Teacher, I wanted to have relevant teachers, people that are working in the industry for major studios. A lot of them are Emmy Award winners, Oscar winners, that know what they're talking about and are still practicing. So everyone that we have on board that is teaching on our site, they are people that are still in the industry, they're still working, and they're still creating content for the world, whether it's series or features or whatever it might be.
Julia says, Brad's course is amazing. I've taken it 3 times. Just re-watching and relearning. Yeah, I just posted a link to that. And to your point, about people still working in the industry, Lyndon Ruddy, he's at Illumination. He's got a course on storyboarding, but we've got other courses on storyboarding from other people like Tim Hodge, who works in the industry still. And he's not just a story artist, he's a director.
Tim, I always like to mention this about Tim. When Tim started storyboarding really like in earnest on Mulan. And then when we did Brother Bear, he was one of our story artists on Brother Bear. And if you go to my Facebook page, I just the other day I posted a whole bunch of photographs from a trip that we took to Alaska.
You can probably share some of them on the stream, can't you?
What's that? Oh yeah, I could. But Tim and I, there's a lot of photos in there that Tim shot. But the thing that I want to mention is Tim storyboarded the bear hunt sequence where Kenai goes after the bear and fights the bear and all that stuff. He storyboarded that. And it is one of the few sequences because, feature animation, making features at a major studio, it's all about revisions. Your first version never makes it all the way through. You're always changing something, rewriting something. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. And Tim's version of that bear hunt was one of the only sequences that from the time it was boarded to the time it was up on the screen, it did not change at all. What you see on the screen is what Tim boarded. It was pretty cool. And so, he teaches storyboarding on our site.
And who else has courses on animal drawing? And Tim does.
David Coleman.
I was just going to say, I posted a link to Tim Hodge's courses, all of which, again, you can get for just $10 each with promo code 10SAVE. Also, I was just going to mention David Coleman. David Coleman is an Emmy Award-winning character designer. He's also a head of story now. And actually, Aaron, you hired him first as a story artist. Right?
I like to take pride in that.
Yeah, Aaron gave him his first job in story. He's done a bunch of awesome courses on our website. He's working on a new one now, as a matter of fact. He's worked with Robert Rodriguez. He's worked on live action. He just did boarding for the new Tron movie coming out. He's done.
David is killing it.
Yeah, I mean, he just finished a head of story project at Pixar, or
Mufasa.
sorry, DreamWorks. He did Mufasa. He's got so much stuff, and yeah, these guys.
He's doing live action and animation.
Yeah, if you want to learn about story and storyboarding, any of that stuff, pick up a class this weekend and use that code 10-SAVE. It's a great time. Also, consider becoming a member because our annual membership plan, that's $100 off right now. So for basically $150, you get everything on the website and it's all yours to keep. Plus, you get everything we release over the next 12 months.
Yeah, actually, I want to talk about the keeping because a lot of places, a lot of sites only allow you to stream. You can't download. Once you download it, if you choose to download it and not just stream it, you keep it forever. Even after your membership is up, it's yours forever.
Yep. The only thing that happens when you cancel your membership is you can't get new courses. But everything you've unlocked, you get to keep.
Yep.
And our membership retention rate, by the way, is through the roof. People stick around. We've got people that have been members now since the membership came out 9 years ago, I think.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, stick around.
Stick around.
Mary Beth says, I love David's courses.
Yeah, he draws pretty well.
He's all right.
He's all right.
Florian asks, it would be interesting if you started rewatching the Snow Bear streams again from the beginning and then watch them 8 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. How many days would it take you to get through everything? So Florian, I'm glad you brought that up. Speaking of our membership,
Yeah.
we live streamed the making of Snow Bear twice a week while we were making it. And we're continuing to live stream our new projects while we're making them. So you're getting behind the scenes, real-time access to exclusive content on projects that aren't out yet. And you can go back and rewatch it at any time. So Florian, you asked how many hours there are. Just of the Snow Bear streams alone, we have 450 hours of members-only streams. You can literally watch an animated film be made from beginning to end.
450 hours. Yeah. There you go. I don't think anyone's ever done that.
Random question. Would you ever want to see Brother Bear turned into a live-action remake?
Of all the ones, I think it would make a pretty decent live action film. I fall into the camp of why, but
it lends itself to it. I agree.
yeah.
Actually,
I mean, most of the movie it's bears talking to each other, so it's not. I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure if we can announce all the details on this, but I think it's safe to say because I was just checking the website and they don't have every single panel listed. Aaron's going to be at this year's D23 Expo here in Orlando, which is next month, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And I think it's safe to say this. They're doing a panel on the early 2000s films, and they're talking about Brother Bear and Treasure Planet. Tarzan's in there too, but that was 99, but it's kind of the sort of the changing of the films. And so you and the other directors are all going to be a part of it. And it was interesting because of all those films, that certain era all kind of lend themselves to live action.
They really do.
Treasure Planet, you could totally see.
Oh, man.
Atlantis, I could see.
They already did that. That one guy did the fake.
Yeah. But I mean, I could
thought
see
was
it.
Super cool.
Yeah. Now, again, to your point, why? But as far as lending themselves to it, I think somebody, I went and saw How to Train Your Dragon. I really enjoyed it. So as long as Disney asks Aaron to be the director of it.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. I'm amazed at how much, just in the last year or so, how much love Brother Bear has been getting online and people contacting me about it and everything. That's pretty cool.
What is the most comparable software to TV Paint for a more raster-based workflow? I don't like working with vector. Well, TV Paint is raster-based. It's not vector. So
That's why I use it.
That's why Aaron uses it.
Yeah.
If you're looking for alternatives, there's Procreate Dreams on an iPad that's also raster based,
And it's awesome.
and it's awesome. We have a course on that. I forgot to ask, what frames per second does Aaron use?
24. All 24. 24 all day.
When it comes to watercolor, hold on, I just lost the question.
What?
When it comes to watercolor, what colors do you make for a skin color or browns? Like different shades
What
of
colors
skin?
do I use?
Yeah.
Well, I use cadmium red. I'll use some cad yellow. And then I'll bring in some blues to tone that down. I'll use blues and shadows. There's also violets that I'll use in there, depending on the tone of the skin. For darker complected people, you'll end up with a lot of blues and violets. For lighter complected people, you'll end up with a lot of pinks. Yeah, so I mean, it's really the entire spectrum depending on lighting, because it's not, the local color of the skin, meaning the color without it being lit or in shadow, that's one thing. But if you're painting, you're always thinking about light and light and shadow affects the color that you're painting. So it could really be any combination of paints on your palette. Even green sometimes. If you're out in the forest, you might get some green tint to your skin.
Now, we talked about the animation boot camp quite a bit. I think we should talk a little bit more about the New Masters Village.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's going to be super cool. So the New Masters boot camp, that's a 5-day boot camp. And I'm going to be going out to Colorado. They've got an amazing 60-acre ranch out there, and really beautiful facilities where I'm going to be teaching animal drawing 4 hours a day. And we're going to start in the classroom. We're going to move up to using photographs. We're going to move up to using video, and then we're going to move up to going out and drawing live animals: horses, goats, chickens, pigs, lots of farm animals. And I'm going to talk to you about animal anatomy and animal physiology and movement. I'm going to spend a day on animal locomotion, where I'm actually going to do some animation demos. So it's going to be really cool. I'm super excited about it. And the folks at New Masters Academy are really, really wonderful. One of the things I love about this industry are just the friends that we've made from the different schools, from Proco to New Masters Academy to a lot of these different online education sites are really filled with just really great people. And we all really support each other. And so, partnering up with New Masters Academy. And I love, Glenn Vilppu is going to be there the week before me teaching figure and, painting the figure and drawing the figure in nature. And so that's going to be amazing.
He might still be there some while your workshop's going on, because I know he's staying through the full week in between too. So that's the cool thing about New Masters Village. And for people who don't know what we're talking about, you can go to newmastersvillage.com and learn all about it.
Learn all about it.
New Masters Academy, which is another online art school, has purchased a 65-acre ranch in southern Colorado. It already has buildings. It's a working ranch, but it was already set up for art retreats. This is the cool thing about this particular workshop, is the days are designed so that half the day is art and half the day is retreat. So if you want to go horseback riding, you can go horseback riding. If you want to walk through the gardens, you can walk through the gardens. they're going to have a full sculpture studio there where they're going to be doing marble sculptures and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty amazing. They're trying to, kind of have a throwback to like the early Renaissance art where there was, you know, apprentices and masters teaching, working hand in hand. You can learn more at newmastersvillage.com. Dustin, can you throw the slide up for the boot camps?
Yes.
And again, if you want to learn about the animation boot camp, go to creatureartteacher.com/live. But we're real excited about both of these. The New Masters Village workshop is already about half sold out. So
Already?
yep.
Holy moly.
And that is September, what's the date?
sorry.
Sorry, it's September 15th through the 19th. And our animation boot camp is November 13th through 17th.
It's gonna be around during my birthday?
So there we go. We've got this. Got them animating across right there. Now, one thing I want to do on this, on my line layer.
Which question? Did you ever work with Tashin Asghar? Asghar? I have no idea how you pronounce that.
No.
Look it up. Look them up.
So I want to make this really.
Oh, they were on Hercules and Tarzan, which you didn't work on either of those.
No, I didn't.
And they also worked on All Dogs Go to Heaven.
So one thing I want to do, I want to darken this line. I've got it set to multiply right now. I'm going to set it to color. It's kind of light. I want it to be darker. So I'm going through and I'm going to change my brush. And what I've done is I've turned on, I've basically made it so that it only affects, I'm only drawing over the line itself. There we go. Make that even bigger. There we go. Because I want to combine this. When you have a blend mode on something, I had this set to multiply to darken the lines.
Somebody just had Dustin's on low power mode today.
What? That's not true. It's not true.
That's not true.
Now, to be honest, my the past couple of nights ever since I got my feet swollen, it's been a little difficult getting right amount of sleep because I have my feet elevated.
Oh yeah.
And so I'll go to sleep with my feet elevated, but then I'd wake up, it'll still be dark out, and and I'll just be like, "What time is it?" And it's like only 2 a.m.
All right. That's me every night.
And I try to go back to sleep, but instead I'm fully awake. So I try to kill like a few hours, and then when I'm finally feeling it again, then I go back and try to sleep again, and half the time it works. And then today, unfortunately, not so much.
I'm firing up the pizza oven tonight.
Ooh. We do my thing with my buddies in a video game. We have a thing we do every Friday. It's a fun little get together.
Hey Nick, you guys want to come over for homemade pizza tonight?
That could work. We run it by Selena. I've got Stormy still in town. Oh, by the way,
that's even better.
I
I'll
gave
get some
her
vegan cheese.
I gave her your art books, and she has been enamored of them for the past 2 days, like just
Oh, that's
going through them
awesome.
constantly. So I gave her one of the few copies of Volume 1 I've got left, but it's unsigned, so you'll have to sign it for her.
I love it. There. So now I've got a nice dark line there. So now what I'm going to do is I want to combine these. Okay.
By the way, one other thing I want to mention about our animation bootcamp is we supply all the software and all the hardware. So you just have to get there. Once you get there, your room is included, your breakfast and lunch are included each day. The last day we do a celebratory dinner that's included. So go to creatureartteacher.com/live. You can learn all about it.
Learn all about it.
But you don't have to bring any equipment with you. Now, if you're like, I really prefer to animate in Dreams on my iPad or something like that, you're allowed to do that. If you say, I'm a Windows person and I want to bring my own laptop, you can do that. We're just not going to be responsible for troubleshooting those things. So if you work in whatever software you want, but we're able to provide you a computer and TV Paint, and we'll sit you down, we'll take you through it, and Aaron will teach you all about the wonderful art of character animation.
The wonderful world of Disney. So I am going to now go through and I'm going to copy each one of these. I'm going to create a new layer, new animation layer. I'm going to go through and I'm going to start animating, I'm repositioning this character across, and I'll show you what I mean. So right now I've got him walking in place right here, our little walk cycle, but I need to get him to go from the right side to the left side. So this is what we're going to do. This is my cheat, so I'm not animating new drawings all the way across. So I'm going to copy this drawing. I'm going to create a new animation layer, but I need to find where I'm going to do that. Oh, it's saving right now. So here we go. Oh, there we go. So I need to come back to right in here.
Motion tween.
There we go. Right about there. So I'm going to create a new layer.
How do you deal with the injury due to overexerting during art?
Injury. Well, it depends on what the injury is. Are you talking about wrist pain or anything like that? Either way, any injury you get, you've got to give that body part a break. That's what it comes down to. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking each of these and I'm, which one? Okay, it's right there. I'm going to reposition them like so. Now I got to go back and grab the next one, number 2, copy that, come up to the next layer, to the layer I just created, come back to here, and I go paste, and I want to move. I got to turn. A couple of things here. I got to turn this down, the background. I need to turn on the onion skin for this right here, so I can see the drawing before. See it right there, that purple. So I wanted, that's going to show me where to put his foot, where his foot is going to plant, right there.
The person talking about the overexertion is specifically pointing out the a shoulder injury.
Yeah, well, yeah, you've got to give it a break.
Put an ice pack on and just rest it up. Minimize how much you use it for a little bit.
So once again, I've got that there.
Have you ever used 3D layering in your animation, like in Rescuers Down Under? Is Z-axis translation a feature with TV Paint?
I don't know if that is or not. No, I haven't used that. See him coming in? We're going to have that forward momentum of him coming in. So now I want to come back here again, grab the fourth image, copy, paste. Down here, fifth image.
Tuna on YouTube says, "Hi everybody. Quick question: Is 29 of 30 sold for Animation Bootcamp? 99% or 96%? Thanks."
What?
Wait, what?
Is the for the boot camp is the last seat sold?
I don't know which boot camp they're talking about.
Yeah.
The August boot camps have both sold out. So if you're talking about the ones the beginners intro animation boot camps in August, yes, those are gone. We did just announce today a brand new intermediate animation boot camp, which you can sign up for by going to creatureartteacher.com/live. That was just announced today, and we've already sold a couple spots for it.
But if you're going while
It's going fast.
If you're referring to the earlier, the August boot camps, yeah, those have sold out. Yes.
Oh, I see what I did. See, this is I'm talking and not paying attention. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go.
Tom Fitzpatrick asks, if you had the option, would you add breathing or exhale fog to this one?
No. I mean, if I had time, sure. But that's not imperative for this.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oops. See, I got to make sure I'm putting it in the right place. There we go. So he's walking in. That's going to work pretty good. So 1, 2, 5, 6.
Foxy Pete asks, will the intermediate animation bootcamp be offered at a later date besides November? I'm attending the beginners bootcamp and don't know if I can attend another one so quickly.
More than likely, yes. We obviously don't have it scheduled yet. Our plan is to do.
Yeah, they're never going to be one and done.
Yeah, no. Our plan is to do a couple times a year boot camps. So this is the there's nothing on the books yet, obviously, but
yeah, I mean, if someone attends our beginner and they're ready for the intermediate, then we'll create another one for them to attend, for sure.
I mean, part of it's going to be based on popularity, of course.
Popular.
When we did the beginners animation boot camp, it sold out so quickly that we added a second one right away. If that happens this time, we'll keep you posted. But you can learn all about it, and if you have any questions, go to creatureartteacher.com/live. There's a big FAQ on the page there, and we can go through any questions you need. There's a support link right on the page.
We're getting a walking across here.
From your perspective, what does a work-life balance look like for an animator or director?
For me, it's like any other job. It's working 8 hours a day, basically, spending time with your family. You don't want to live and breathe any job all day long. It's just not, as much as I love creating art and animating and all of that, I work to live. I don't live to work. And so you want to make sure that you are giving your time to your family and loved ones.
Now, having said that, I can tell you if you're animating or animating a project or directing a project, sometimes the hours go way beyond 8 hours. It just depends on the nature of the project and the deadlines.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's true of any job. I mean,
yeah, there's going to be times where you got to put in extra work for sure.
Yeah.
Which, with us, Nick and I are always working for sure.
Yeah, when you own your own business, you're never not working, really.
But one of the benefits we have is that we work from our homes.
Yes. Again, for people that might just be tuning in, I want to let you know we announced something really exciting today. We have our next animation boot camp. It's going to be November 13th through 17th here in Orlando, Florida. This is more of an intermediate animation workshop where Aaron's going to take you through the living line, the idea of bringing characters to life. You can learn more at creatureartteacher.com/live. And in September, we've got a workshop out in Southern Colorado with New Masters Village. You can learn more about that at newmastersvillage.com. That workshop is already half sold out. So that's going to be all on animal drawing and painting.
It's going to be quite fun.
Yeah, that's I forgot to mention that. That's going to be one of the things that I'm going to be doing as well. Is we're going to be doing some drawing and painting. Charcoal and watercolor while we're there as well.
And
So where's that
finally,
walk site?
if you're just joining us, this is a great weekend to pick up a class at Creature Art Teacher. Go to creatureartteacher.com, use promo code 10-SAVE, and you can get any course on the website for just $10. 10-SAVE. That's animal drawing courses, painting courses, drawing courses, animal drawing, animation, storyboarding, storytelling.
That's crazy.
It's all on sale. Just $10 each. Use that code. That code ends on Monday, though.
It's insanity. All the humanity.
So now you can see he's coming, he comes off screen, walks in. Pretty cool, huh? No, I've got a camera truck in baked in. I'll be putting that in later for the animation. See, and this is our little cheat. And then all I have to do is repeat this across the screen.
Makai Lee says, I want to host a workshop on stop motion animation here in Baltimore.
That'd be cool.
That'd be
Do it.
Do it.
Renola asks, for the Colorado workshop, do we provide our own supplies? No, you can bring supplies with you if you want, but there's going to be supplies on site.
Yes.
Animal Forest Studio says, we're all crazy here, and I mean mad. Well, that's a relief, otherwise this would never work.
What? I didn't hear anything that you just said. Didn't understand.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, we're all mad here was quoting Alice in Wonderland.
That, yeah, I got that.
I don't know that, but
I didn't understand your,
let's do another
your Johnny
Depp,
Depp.
impression. It's from the World's End, Pirates of the Caribbean episode where Jack Sparrow's trying to get off the British ship, and he's standing on top of a cannon with a fuse in hand because he's about to fire off the cannon to launch himself to the neighboring ship over. And the captain's just looking at him like, "You're mad." well, that's great. Otherwise, this would never work.
So there we go. So what I need to do now, so that'll give you a little sense of how he's walking across, how he's going to walk across the frame. Now I just need to get him to go all the way across. So I'm going to continue moving him across. What I want to do is get to the point, I want to get to this drawing right here, basically right there. That one. I want to get to that one again.
Twitch question. Do you have any tips for matching walk and run cycles to the speed of the movement in animation?
Ask me that again.
Do you have any tips for matching your walk and run cycle to the speed of movement in animation?
I'm confused at that question.
Well, they might just be talking about how do you I think they just might be talking about timing, really. Like how do you get the timing
there's
right?
all kinds of different timings for walks and runs. A walk and run cycle is animation. That's why I'm getting confused by the question or the phrasing. But there's going to be very fast runs, slower runs, more of a casual jog, a really fast jog. There's fast walkers, slow walkers. There's all kinds of, that all comes down to pacing and the type of mood that you're going to be getting across. And so, yeah, I mean, that's all part of, I teach timing in my animation courses. So that's part of it for sure.
Coco says, it's nice to see a little bit of different animation on here. When can we expect animation live streams to start on that new short with the orange cat?
You know what? That's one that we definitely want to do because that's right up in our empathy book. We've got a few things going on with that. We'll see. We're not quite ready yet. But I'm glad that you like that because I like it too.
Do you ever use production effects in your work?
I use effects. Anytime you use effects in a production, they are production effects.
I think they might mean like pre-built stuff, maybe.
I do all of my own effects. Like the snow, the snow you see falling in here, that's snow that I created, my effects.
Is that a reuse from Snow Bear?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep, that's snow I used in Snow Bear.
Save
Look at
time
that.
where you
See
can.
how the animation is matching the timing of the storyboard as he's walking across.
Are you making a 100 Sketches Volume 2 book? I rewatch your sketchbook videos just so I can stare at the sketches of grass and water and trees. Your gray tone landscape studies are my favorites. Well, we probably will do 100 more drawings at some point.
Yeah.
But we are definitely
That we is
planning.
very loosely spoken.
We are definitely planning a sketchbook
Yeah.
book.
That I'm really excited about.
Well, I just meant we have close to 100 pen and ink drawings that we didn't even put in that 100 drawings book.
Oh, I know.
Gabby says, hello.
Hello, Gabster.
Happy Friday. Hey, Nick and Aaron and everyone else who's there. Miss you guys.
No, you don't.
Still love the art inspiration every day.
We met Gabby at the castle in England.
We did. And then we got to see her recently in San Francisco, where she came to the San Francisco Film Festival and saw Snow Bear. Matt asks, what's a time-saving trick for animation you wish you had learned earlier?
Keep your butt in your chair. That's the only thing that's going to save time. And draw. No, I mean, there's all kinds of little shortcuts you can do here and there. Like I just was showing you guys today, where I was basically keeping the same body as he's walking across. I'm showing you one right now where I'm using the same drawings from the cycle and just repositioning them, copying and pasting them, so I don't have to redraw them each time. There's hundreds, thousands of different time-saving tips.
Is there a character turnaround lesson or course that you have that I should look at?
Character turnaround, not necessarily.
In your advanced animation separating the mechanics from the performance course, you have the dog do a turnaround. He walks around in a 360.
No, I think they're talking about like a rotation, like a turn, like a pedestal,
oh, really?
Pedestal. That's the way I took the question.
Well, if you're talking about that, no, not in 2D animation.
That's what I was just saying.
But if you're talking about a character walking around, yes, we cover that in advanced animation, separating the performance from the mechanics. And I'll post a link. Isn't that right, Dustin?
Pardon?
Again, I want to remind you who can get that course I was referring to and all of our courses on our website for just $10 this weekend. Use promo code 10-SAVE.
Does that even include my course?
That does include your course.
Wow.
Dustin has a course, an introduction to wildlife photography. It's a great course, and he takes you through everything from the basics of how to work a camera all the way into what to do when you're out in the field shooting wildlife, how to focus. He talks about the triangle of exposure. It's a great course. I'll post a link.
Yeah, even though it is focused on wildlife, and we do go and I take you out to different trails to get wildlife photography. A lot of it, a lot of the knowledge that I shared can be used for other mediums of photography or other specialties of photography.
Yeah, it's
Whether
a great intro to photography course across the board, I would say.
Animal Forest Studio says, "You've got the Wacom glove I need."
Deb on Twitch asks, I did a tie down for a Goblin's Paris and I was really struggling to do a walk cycle. So my question is, what is the most important thing to keep in mind while animating a walk cycle?
Pacing, weight. There are so many. Sorry, hold on. I'm just trying to get this right. There's the physiology and the way the anatomy kind of moves. It depends on how real you want it to be too. What's the stylization? All of that. These are all things to consider when you're doing a walk cycle. Hold on one second. Let me do this. All right, so now I've just taken that and moved it across the screen. Let me see. There we go.
In Aaron's complete animation course, he covers the mechanics of two-legged walk cycles, as well as the 12 fundamentals of animation, the principles. I'm going to go ahead and post a link, and you click that link, and it'll instantly apply that $10 savings code. Does the Wacom need a glove for my arm while drawing? Not necessarily. You don't wear a glove while you're drawing on your Cintiq there.
Nope.
He tends to wear it more on his iPad.
So there we go. I've got my character.
Aaron turns the touch off, by the way.
I do. I don't use touch.
So it only picks up that, and that's a nice thing about a Cintiq is you can turn that on or off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do one more thing here.
Does Aaron know the 12 principles off the top of his head?
I know, let's see. No, I don't know all of them off the top of my head. I know all the
Squash and stretch.
squash and stretch and all overlap, follow through, appeal, staging.
Drawing, right, is one of them.
Drawing is one of them. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I've got to focus on this real quick.
Must focus.
Focus.
Timing, I think, is one of them.
Timing is everything.
Importing here. Bum, bum, bum. All right, let me see here. Projects. Going in, what I'm trying to do is create a new background so I don't have the storyboard going across. There it is. We'll put that there. These. this on hold. There we go. So I've got that sitting there. There, we got him walking across the screen.
Nice.
Now, I'm going to actually put him. We can do something where he's walking into the light as well. So watch this. I'm going to try something a little different. We'll get this working right. Let me come into my Photoshop file. And I'm going to turn this off, turn this off, and turn this off. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to export this, or save this as a copy. I'm going to save it as a PNG in my park bench. We're going to call this shadow. There we go. Save that. Okay. So that's our shadow. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go to, trying to remember where my park bench guy was. There he is. Turn that on. And I've turned my shadow off. So this is him without the light. So let's turn this, let's save this now. And I'm going to call this a JPEG. And we'll just do BG. And I'm going to save that. So now I'm going to do this. We're going to go back into my TV Paint. And I'm going to come down here, back to this layer. I'm going to import footage again. I'm going to my park bench, and I'm going to go to the BG. So now what I'm doing is I'm importing that background without the shadow over the top where the light's coming down. I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to go ahead and set that to hold. So now when I play this, he's laying on the park bench, we're pushing in, and we have the guy walk across. But now we want to have that shadow on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the very top. And I'm going to import footage again. And I'm going to import the shadow. I want the shadow to be on top of everything. So there's our shadow layer. I'm going to load that. And I'm going to say import. Now, it's sitting over the top, but the way I can get that to sit right is I set that to multiply. So if I go to multiply right here, now we've got a nice shadow. And when I play this, oh, it's saving. When I play my guy walking across, do that again. When I play my guy walking across, he's going to walk into the shadow, walk into the light. Whoops, sorry guys, I forgot to hold this. There we go, hold. So he'll walk into the light and then into the shadow. See that?
Very neat.
That works great.
Yeah, works very nice.
Uh,
So I'm going to add a snow layer over the top of this. We'll do all of that.
Deb says, I noticed you have TV Paint 11 and 12. Why are you using 11 primarily? He's having an issue with 12 on
Yeah,
his...
I'll answer it. So with 12, I've been having a problem with the eraser. And so for whatever reason, when I draw in TV Paint 12, I've got the eraser set to my eraser on my stylus. And when I go to erase, it's still drawing with it. I can't get it to actually switch over to the eraser tool, which I have no problem doing in TV Paint 11. And what's interesting is when I use TV Paint 12 on my laptop, it works fine. When I switch over to the eraser, it erases, and it's just kind of strange that way. So, and I've tried all kinds of different things. It's just my desktop computer. For some reason, I can't get it to. The only way I can get it to use the eraser is if I actually manually click on the eraser and then do it that way. But as far as getting it to erase, setting it, I've gone into my Wacom settings and tried to set it on my stylus, and it still it doesn't, for whatever reason.
It's something on our end, though. It's not a problem with
No, it's not a
itself.
TV Paint with the problem with TV Paint 12 at all.
Yeah.
It's definitely on our end. I just can't quite figure it out. But I think we've hit the end here.
That looks great.
Yeah,
Nice
pretty
work.
happy with it.
Looks really good. Yeah, that light definitely.
Yeah, and then when you add the snow and you have all that, then it's gonna be a nice little bit. And so, I mean, we animated this in about, I worked on it for an hour this morning, and then we've been at this for 2 hours here. So this is 3 hours worth of work where we have a character walking across, all the way across the screen and in color. So these are the kind of shortcuts that I'm talking about. The only thing I really animated were those feet, the legs. The body is the same body up and down. And the other thing too is it's a cycle. So, even though he should be changing perspective as he walks by, it's not really needed for this, for what we're trying to show.
So,
And if we wanted to take an extra couple of hours, I could put this on 1s, although I'm not going to do that because 2s is just fine.
I got my own personal question.
Sure.
So you used a multiplier to walk through the shadow, which was a really quick and easy shortcut for him to walk in and out of the light.
Yeah.
But back in your day at Disney, when the guys did the paint,
Yeah.
like they had to actually paint in the light and everything, like
For the backgrounds, they would, yeah.
But,
But they would use exposure in the camera to bring things up and bring things back, and
okay.
they would put tinted cells over the top as well.
Oh, so
So it works in
wasn't
the
that they
same
would
way
take-
that multiply works.
So they didn't like lighten the color. They used actual like tints and stuff to
Yeah.
to make it act like a
Yeah,
multiplier.
you could take gels, at any color you want, and you can put that over the top, and then you can blur it.
It really would depend too on the shot, right? That's one thing people don't realize is that every shot comes down to the need of that shot.
Yeah. So like for example of Beast walking into the light for the first time.
Yeah.
When Belle asks him to walk into the light. And
Well, that
was-
yeah, depending on how the shadows were, because that we actually animated the shadows onto his face.
Oh, okay.
So when he went into the shadow, he's painted like he's in shadow. And then because we wanted to have that light reveal him, so the light had to follow his form, and so as he's doing that shadow line has to animate. So you got to draw that. In the same way that I have Snow Bear when he's sitting watching the sunset, I animated the shadow around his body.
Right.
We did the same thing with Beast.
Yeah.
The character animators didn't do that. It was the effects animators.
Right.
Yeah, so like in our course on 2D effects animation from Joey Mildenberger, he shows the famous shot where he animated the shot where Mufasa and Simba are up when Lion King, and everything the light touches and the camera spins around. He animated that shadow, and people think that's 3D, and it's not.
It's all hand
I
drawn.
really think that ground is
Which, by the way, is his course on our website.
Yep, you can get his course, his 2D effects with Joey Mildenberger. You can get that course for $10. Use promo code 10SAVE at creatureartteacher.com this weekend. You can get any course on our website for just $10 if you use promo code 10SAVE. Any single course. It doesn't apply to all the bundles necessarily.
Hey, man, we've been at it for 2 hours. And then we did
Got a lot done today.
Yeah, we got a lot done today. I'm really happy. And once again, remember, you guys, we got this boot camp. Let's pull up a slide, Dustin. We got this new boot camp coming up November. And on November, what's the date on that again? November 13th to the 17th. We've got my intermediate animation boot camp. Hotel is included, breakfast and lunch is included, and I'm going to be working with 30 of you, whoever comes in. We're keeping it limited to 30 tickets and 30 spots. And I'm going to be, and one of the reasons I do that, obviously, is I want to be able to give everybody one-on-one time. And we're going to be doing more advanced animation techniques. Intermediate, I'm going to be focused on acting and breathing life into your characters. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then also coming up in, go back to the slide, Dustin, please.
Yep.
Coming up on September 15th through the 19th, 5 days there, I'm going to be working with New Masters Academy out in Colorado, where I'm going to be teaching animal drawing, all the way from, anatomy, gesture drawing, all of that, and drawing from life, doing finished rendered drawings. It's going to be a lot of fun, all focused on animal drawing and animal anatomy. So go check that out over at New Masters Academy. And then we got some other big ones that we're going to be announcing in the coming weeks that are even bigger that I'm really excited about. But we're still in kind of the planning stages. But anyway, like I said, if you guys can help us out, help us spread the word about Creature Art Teacher and what we've got going on, because we want to build that. We've got a really wonderful community, and it's only going to get better as we build it, and we can't build it without you guys. So thanks a lot for hanging out today, and I hope you learned something with the animation, and look for this campaign coming up in the coming weeks. It's called the Empathy Project. And it's just us trying to put a little bit of beauty back into the world. We're trying to put a little money where our mouth is. We're always talking about putting beauty back into the world, and I just really think that the world could use a little empathy right now, and empathy education. And so we want to do little examples of that. So through our animation, there you go. Anything you want to add?
No, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And like I said, those spots are already selling to our boot camp. So if you're interested, go to creatureartteacher.com/live. Don't miss your chance to join Aaron for 4 days in Orlando. We will see you there.
Thanks, you guys. Go on out there, like I said, put some beauty back in the world, and I'll see you guys next week.
See you, everybody. Bye-bye.